hurts my soul. Another body in the street, another life gone cold. Another mother in agony watching life unfold. But there is no console. Tell me why we gotta hate each other. Why we can't just love each other. Why we gotta shoot each other. Why we can't just love each other.
Yo, look me in the face. We don't even have to hate. Enough money we can chase. Let's uplift the race. Let's get it. Let's get to a place. We can sit and talk face to face. Like me, there's a lot that we relate. You don't have to take the bait. Be a man. Anybody put a gun in their hand. Anybody can throw their hands. Anybody can choke or slam. Anybody can chase the bag. Let's plan and get them bands. Let's plan to go get them meals. Get back and pay them bills. Tell me why you shoot. Tell me why you hate. Tell me why you can't get on your grind and choose your fate. Let go of anger. Let go of pain. I know the whys. I felt the same. Been there. Cops killing, ops killing. No difference. Jail cells, graveyards, same sentence. I hopped off that porch with no regrets. To take control of life, I had to walk back up them steps.
All the hatred in the world, it really hurts my soul. Another body in the street, another life gone cold. Another mother in agony watching life unfold. But there is no console.
Tell me why? Tell me
why we gotta hate each other.
Tell me why? Tell me why?
Why we can't just love each other.
Why? Tell me why?
Why we gotta shoot each other.
Tell me why? Tell me why?
Why we can't just love each other.
Rest in peace, Mar. Love you, bro. Rest in peace, Romy. Love you, bro. Rest in heaven, Wax.
Love you, Wax.
R.I.P. to all the homies. Can't forget Spider. As a kid, I was inspired. He put rims on his tires, so tall that you can climb them. Hug your people, love your people. It's time to change. You've been keeping score, let's keep our people. Play a different game. Let go of evil, let's be peaceful. We've seen the movies, change the sequel. I was on those front lines. Went to war with the other side. 09, I was active. I'm not talking online. I fought for respect, and I fought for what's mine. I fought for the game, and I fought for my side. I fight today to break the cycle. That type of life is suicidal. That life ain't it. I hopped off that porch with no regrets. To take control of life, I had to walk back up them steps.
All the hatred in the world, it really hurts my soul. Another body in the street, another life gone cold. Another mother in agony watching life unfold. But there is no console.
Tell me why? Tell me
why we gotta hate each other.
Tell me why?
Tell me why we can't just love each other.
Tell me why? Tell me
why we gotta shoot each other.
Too many people dying for no reason. We gotta stop it, we gotta break the cycle.
Why we can't just love each other.
Tell me why?
Tell me why. Tell me why.
We gotta stop taking score. We gotta start protecting our people, uplift our people. The biggest lie we was told is that you gotta die for your respect. There is no word in the dictionary I'm willing to die for, and you should be neither.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
This is another 419 Grind exclusive. Wake up, Toledo.
Wake your ass up.
You're listening to the 419 Grinds Rise and Grind Morning Show. city. Visit us online at the419grind.com.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. You are tuned into the all-new Rise and Grind morning show with your girl, Miss Leah Renee. Hey, and today I have another guest co-host. And I just love having these new guest co-hosts because, you know, it gives me a little bit of different flavor. I definitely miss my boy Treese, but when you bring in new faces, it brings new face, new personality, new views, new everything. And so, you know, it's just a whole new setup this morning. And it's all girls theme today, except for Dewan. You know, shout out to our intern Dewan that's, you know, engineering the show. He's not a girl, but it's still an all girls day here. So hello to everybody tuned in. My girl Arlinda Self is with me today.
Hello, everyone.
You all know her from the self-explanatory show that she has with her husband, Lance Self. Thank you so much, girl, for coming in and being my co-host today. I love it. I love it. So, you know, two beautiful women. Shout out to DJ Breezy. She was supposed to come in today for Workout Wednesday, but, you know, some things came up. She's a busy girl, so she couldn't make it in. But hopefully she'll call in and, you know, we can get her on the line and have some juicy conversation. But we miss you too, Breezy, so shout out to you.
Yes.
Want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in already on the live. Craig, hey Craig, my sister Andrea, TJ, and everybody else that's tuning in. We appreciate you guys. You know, today I'm going to get right into the weather and traffic. Usually Treese is here to, you know, lead me into that. But since he's not here today, I'm going to just get right into the weather and traffic. It's going to be a pretty day today. It's currently 50 degrees and sunny. High will get up to about 68 degrees. So as I said before, we're definitely not seeing too many more of those hot summer days. Summer's pretty much over and fall is here. And we're getting those crisp temperatures. It's not going to be getting pretty much past 60s anymore. So we're not going to be seeing any 70s and 80s anymore. So, but 68 and sunny, you know, can't beat that. That's pretty cool.
I love the fall.
Yeah, do you? I mean, I love the fall too, but I would say the spring is definitely my favorite just because my birthday's in the spring. But I do love the fall. As far as traffic is concerned, there was a crash this morning on 75 near Illinois Ave out by St. Charles Hospital. So if you're out in that area, you definitely want to give yourself more time to get through. There's a disabled vehicle on 475 and the right lane is closed. So you're definitely going to want to take your time and give yourself extra time if you're going through that area as well. And there's also the same construction that's been going on 75 and on I-280. So make sure if you're taking that route, you're giving yourself some extra time to get through that route. And that is your weather and traffic for the day. You know, enjoy your day with that weather and traffic. So trending topics, you know, we're going to be getting into some trending topics. This is going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. As usual, we're going to have a question of the day. We're going to get into some trending topics talking about, you know, the presidential debate. Arlinda was yesterday. What do you, man, that debate.
Oh, my goodness.
That was,
you know what? I wanted to turn it off, but I couldn't.
Man, I think we all wanted to turn it the fuck off. Like, I'm sorry. I did not mean to start the morning off like that.
No,
he to work
made
on my
us start
cousin
it that way.
Yeah, like he will make you lose your Christianity. Like, Trump will make you turn into the devil, your damn self.
I mean, did you
seriously,
see him
he
last
is
night?
a mess.
What
But
an embarrassment.
what I will say though is, they're both a mess at this point.
Both
I'm
of them.
just like we are in
how
grave.
do you choose something
We are
like
in
that?
grave danger. Is all I can say.
I think at this point we just need to pray.
Yeah,
we don't even know what to do at this point.
You know what? It's funny that you said that. That's kind of been my thoughts on it. It's like, you know, yes, I'm gonna vote, but it's like, this point, I can't put my trust in my, you know, my faith into any presidential candidate. I cannot. I have
It's
to.
a scary world. It's scary right now.
It's scary times. Everything that's going on, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think.
I mean,
anymore.
I guess when I was sitting there and I'm watching them talk and they're talking in circles, nobody's answering anything.
Right.
Nobody's giving us a concrete, you know, answer and
Exactly.
information for us to make. I mean, we already know our decision, but it's kind of like you just want to cry about it.
Yeah.
I sat there and I'm like, nobody's answering anything. Biden, I almost wanted him to just sit down. And Trump,
Girl, it was a mess.
You know how much I yelled at that TV?
And I was watching it thinking to myself, like, is the audio right on this? Like, I didn't know if, like, I had tuned in, and I'm like, it was weird because I don't know, it was just weird. Like, even shout out to my boy, Dr. Vic. He had put up a post and he said, that someone should have been there to like mute their mics. Like,
I agree.
Why in the hell do y'all just got both their mics open and they're just going, like, I couldn't even hear what was going on. When I first tuned in and started watching, they were just going back and forth and back and forth. I couldn't even hear what they were talking about. I didn't even know what they were talking about.
Well, because end of the day, neither one of them really know what they want to talk about.
They don't even know what they're talking about.
Neither one of them want to say what we need and want to hear. They don't know how to do that. So in order to kind of stray away from that, they are talking over each other. And I think it probably, for them, they feel like it probably worked out best because no one got an answer.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then somebody else was like, I feel like I'm watching two children, you know, like at a schoolhouse. Like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, not only are you guys grown men, but you both have been now in the, you know, in the political field for some time, especially Biden, now. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I just feel like it should show, you know.
It should show.
And I don't know. And I'm not seeing it from either candidate. And, you know, somebody else asked a good question, which I think maybe should be our question of the day. Somebody asked on Facebook, if you knew who you were voting for prior to this debate, has the debate changed your frame of thinking, like, or your choice? Like, are you now feeling like, if you were a Trump supporter, are you now feeling like, oh my God, I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think anybody who used to be a Trump supporter is ever going to change their mind on that. Like, because those people who are following him,
they're diehard.
They are like diehard racists, and he's given you know, a platform and a green light for people to just be racist. I mean, even you know, like, since we're talking about trending topics and talking about the debate, shout out to my niece JB, who's in the studio. She's our newest intern, and she was looking up some trending topics for me, and we found a video about the debate, and the person that made the video was saying that, you know, the commander-in-chief refused to denounce or to condemn white supremacy.
Yes,
you know, they're
did.
asking about white supremacy specifically, and he was basically like,
he blew it off as if it was something so minute. He acted like it was something so small. This was a big deal, and everyone, even people that aren't his supporters, needed to hear him do that, and he decided not to. And I guess letting him slide with that, I don't like how we let him slide with that. And letting him slide with that, there was, from what the person on the radio was saying, or in the video, I'm sorry, was saying, now all of those white supremacists are all on their website or their social medias, like basically we got the green.
We got this. He
gave us a
light.
Yellow. Apparently, we got to stand by and stand back. You know what I'm saying?
But
we got that. We're pushing towards the green, and I don't like that. You know, and I don't think any of us like that. And we should probably be a little bit more afraid about that, just a tad bit.
I'm definitely afraid. But what I will say is this, and this in no way, shape, or form says that I'm a Trump supporter, but what I will say is this. I've heard someone say that at least with Trump, they know what to expect.
Exactly.
They know what they're going to get.
Exactly.
We know what to expect, you know, and he had made some changes. This is what they were saying. He has made changes, some strides in the last 4 years.
I'm going to agree.
So, you know, I had to say, well, I felt like you. I can't agree there. You know, not to necessarily say I support him. However, he is who he is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He lives in his truth. And I'm one who talks about living in your truth, right?
And that's the one thing we can always guarantee with him. Like, we were watching the show after the debate, and they were saying, why are we acting like this is surprising to us?
Yeah.
He has never changed who he was. This has been Trump since we have all
since day one.
Since
before he came into office. I mean, his whole campaign was pretty much, you know, I don't know. So, I mean, so if anything, if you're talking about the two, at least we know exactly what we're getting when you get Trump. Exactly.
Do we really
know what Biden's agenda is?
Do we? Because he could be saying it. And actually, did he say it? Did he really?
Right. And did he even say it? Because I still am not sure if I even know what
nobody knows
what his
right
plan
now,
is.
Tell me exactly what any of his plans are.
Tell me exactly what your plans are. What are you going to do for us?
There you go.
Especially the black community, because at one point Biden came out in his campaign on a speech or whatever and said something like, basically, and I mean, I don't want to quote anything wrong. I don't want to get it wrong, but I feel like I remember something about him saying like, he almost made it like he was the end all and be all for black people.
As like he's the savior.
He's our savior. He's our savior. And if we don't vote for him, we might as well just go crawl off somewhere and die.
But the problem is, if we don't vote for him, we have trouble.
That is true. That is very true. So that's why we are at it's a scary situation to be in. Like, I feel like I'm a foster kid trying to decide whether I want to go back to the foster care or stay in a bad home with a bad foster parent. It's like, you're in between a rock and a hard place. Where do I go? What do I do? I'm out here lost. I have no one. I don't know. Goodness. No one but Jesus. You know real talk though. Like I
oh, goodness.
Same thing with this whole coronavirus thing. I've never said, I mean, I'm not ever going to make it seem like the coronavirus isn't real and isn't serious. And it's all of those things. I get it. However, I'm not going to base my life and my and everything off it. I'm not gonna live in fear.
How are we supposed to live the rest of our life?
Right.
And we're all scared of everything.
Right.
I understand it's a big deal. I've had someone close to me that had it, and thank God they got through.
Oh wow.
But it's just that, we can't sit here and live in fear for the rest of our life because of it. We've had other things going on in the US, and we've had to keep going to keep us all going. So I'm not going to sit in the house. I'm not going to
and that's how I feel.
But anyone who has lost someone from it and had to go through it, I'm so sorry that you had to.
Yes, because it's deep, and it's it's affected a lot of lives. So I would never try to make light of that situation. I'm just saying though, like I feel about the election like I feel about Corona. I'm just gonna keep praying. I'm just gonna keep my faith and keep praying.
With what Trump said about the virus, he's like, with him trying to shut it down, he'd do a good job shutting down the country ahead of time.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think that. I don't really know, because we can all sit up and point a finger at him and say he didn't do this right, he didn't do that right, but until you are actually that person in that position and have to handle something like that, because which granted, I mean, when you go take the position of president, you have to be ready for all that type of stuff. I mean, be ready for what's coming. But I mean, I don't really know. Nobody really knows how they would have handled that had they been in his position.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
Because what if he didn't shut down when he did it and would have kept it open longer? What would have happened? We just don't know. We don't have a. Nobody would know this. So for them to go back and forth last night about. You would kill more people. You would do this.
Oh my God!
Come on,
crazy, right?
Stop.
Right.
At one point, like he said, man, stop.
Stop. Yeah. So as you guys can see, we got our listeners weighing in. They're talking about it. It's a juicy subject, especially talking about these presidential candidates and even talking about the virus still. So we're definitely going to keep this conversation going. We just had our other third co-host come in, so we're definitely going to take a break and we're going to come right back. We're going to introduce our guests and we're going to keep this conversation going. So thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned.
If you're tired of church as usual and you're looking for something invigorating, exciting with passion, then the Greater New Psalmist Baptist Church, 3251 Glendale, is the place for you. We are a people that's determined to occupy all streets while cultivating cultural change. The only thing's missing is you. Meet us at 3251 Glendale Avenue as we continue to be relevant and occupy all streets while cultivating cultural change.
What's going on, everybody? This is Lance Self, is who I am.
And I am Arlinda Self.
And we are the Selfs, and here to present our show called Self-Explanatory.
Yes, it's our podcast presented by 419 Grind.
That name just has a ring to it. Self-Explanatory. I feel like we're about to be explaining a bunch of shit. This is true. I feel that's what it's about to be.
Well, I think we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about marriage, of course.
Okay.
We've been married, 2 years now, right?
2 years, we've been together for 8.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. That's a long time.
Y'all going to ask what took so long.
What did take? You know what? We'll get there.
Self-explanatory.
We're going to talk about blended families.
Yeah.
Praying for your spouse. Gender roles. Living with family members.
Woo.
cheating, raising kids, family upbringing, being there for your spouse, finances, being a wife and a husband, trying to be together and be individuals at the same time, which is one of the things.
It took a while.
It's taken a while, but it's the fun part. We're learning that.
That's what marriage is.
It's a process.
It's a life journey. It's not an overnight thing. Yeah, because I know there's a lot of days where I'm trying to be individual. I get on your nerves because of my individual ways. I can tell you one thing for damn sure though. Definitely get on my nerves. It'd be a lot. You definitely gets on my nerves, but I love her.
I get on your nerves?
Yes, it's possible. You do a lot. What's wrong? What's the problem? What's wrong? Hey. I am Lance Self.
And I am Arlinda Self.
And this is the Self-Explanatory Podcast, presented by 419 Grind.
Listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are heard.
You make me so happy, it's worth my while. I don't care what others have to say. Your love is the greatest gift that'll come my way. So it's so extraordinary, it's incredible. Something about the love you give, unexplainable. Can't imagine where I'd be if you let me go. Wrote a simple song to say, you make my soul glow. You make me feel so incredible. You're the source of my strength and the strength of my life. You make my soul glow. You are always there for me in my time of need. You
Yes, it feels so good to be loved by you. Yes, it feels so good to be loved. Hey,
all right,
welcome back to the all new Rise and Grind Morning Show. That was our boy Louis Self with
Yes, I love that one.
And let me tell you, I love that song because I was telling them in the break, I want somebody to make my soul glow.
Right.
I got somebody that's got my soul glowing right now, so I'm really feeling that song. Yeah. So shout out to them. So we're back in the studio. I got my girl with me, Arlinda Self, and I got my girl DJ Breezy. She done made it. She done made it in the building. So now we got a room full of beautiful ladies, and it's about to go down. It's about to go down. But before it goes down, we're gonna we're gonna see what's going on this live feed, y'all. Y'all see anybody on the live feed? Shout out, hey, there's my boy Craig. Hello, boo. My girl Dre, as I said, Jamel Jackson is on the live. Katie's on the live. Ashley, TJ, and everybody else who's on the live. We appreciate all your guys' love and support. We appreciate you tuning in every morning to the Rise and Grind Show. Make sure you guys are sharing and subscribing. We still need to get our subscribers up. So go over to the 419 Grind YouTube page. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. And if you love me, throw up them hearts right now. If you love your girl, if you love the all new Rise and Grind Morning Show, if you love Arlinda, if you love DJ Breezy, throw up them hearts, y'all. Y'all gotta throw up them hearts. You gotta throw up them hearts. And if you have not shared this video, please share the video right now. So
share, y'all.
And while we're talking about podcasts, I might as well throw out our lineup out there because let me tell you, we got
fire.
Heat. We got fire, y'all, right? We got, of course, the Rise and Grind Morning Show every Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 10:30. We have Dr. Vic's Executive Suite. We got 419 Grind with Jesse. We have Real Table Talk with your girl, Leah Renee, of course. And I have a new episode coming out today at 5, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We have Self-Explanatory, of course, with my girl Arlinda and her husband Lance. We have Nothing But Net with our girl Sandy Brown. Capital T with Tasha and Tanya. No Facts Given with DJ Breezy.
Yes.
We got the all-new Cloth Talk with my boy Rob Lewis. We got HBCU Vibes coming soon, and we got Underrated Sports coming soon. Man,
wow.
Look, that's a whole lot. That's a whole, that's a whole.
I mean, the 419 Grind is where it's at.
Man, the 419 Grind is where it's at. If you ain't messing with 419 Grind Studios, I don't know what you're doing. And so speaking of which, if you are a local business or any business for that matter, and you want to support the 419 Grind and you would like to become a sponsor, please send your info to info@the419grind.com to become a sponsor. We have 4 different sponsor packages. We will work with you. We're all about networking and getting this business, closing these deals, getting that check. Okay. So if you would love to promote your business on our show, make sure you send your info and we'll definitely get with you. And if you're a local artist, make sure you also send your music to info@the419grind.com and we will get your music played during our breaks.
Yes.
And make sure you go over to ToledoCityPaper.com and vote the Rise and Grind Morning Show the best local podcast in Toledo. You guys gotta vote. Okay? So, before the break, we were definitely talking about this crazy presidential debate that took place last night. I know everybody saw it. Social media was going crazy because those two guys. So DJ Breezy, you weren't here, when we first started talking about the debate.
Okay.
We were talking about during the break. You said you didn't. You couldn't even watch, right? You were like, I couldn't even do it. And you had an interesting take, which I'm glad that you came in into the conversation right when you did, because me and Arlinda, we both were talking about how we're gonna vote, but we're both now like shit. I don't even know. Like it's like now. We're scared. You know what I mean?
Right.
Either way it goes, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. But you came in with a different take on it, and you were like, no. So tell us what.
I'm not interested in voting in this presidential election. At this time for the 2 candidates that we have, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I just think that our people should not settle to vote for someone. Yes, we had to pave our way in a lot of different ways and a lot of different things, and voting was one.
Yeah.
Education was one. Right. Reading was one. Mm-hmm. So voting is no different than all of these other things we've had to overcome. Yeah. And I personally have done my research with Biden, and I've personally, we don't rock with Trump. But I don't feel that, in my eyes, me as a person, I don't care what it is or who it is. If you do things I do not support, you're not going to get my support.
Right.
And I mean, last night Biden even expressed and showed some ways that our people should have been
a little
woken up to right, in regards to our people.
Yeah.
And you can, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's trying to win our votes.
And like I said to Arlinda, it's like one of those things where I almost look at it as like a man, right? Mm-hmm. As like men. I look at everything like that. And so it's like so I feel like Trump is that, like I said, Trump is that dude who's like, listen, I ain't looking for a relationship. I'm here just trying to hit.
Yes.
If that's what you want, so that's what I'm on, right?
He's so honest.
And Biden is kind of like that dude that comes in like,
yeah,
I love you. I want to marry you. But he just wants to get what he wants to get and then keep it moving.
So at least we know Trump ain't he ain't shit.
We know that.
We know that.
And we know we
didn't even want him in there, but we already know how he got in there, and it's a whole lot of people like him.
Right.
And they're
which one is worse? I guess.
And so I want to say
they're both just not
while we're talking about that, shout out to my sis Andrea who's on the live. She said Trump was rude as fuck.
Yes, he was.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on that. Trump was rude AF.
I'm the same way.
And he was constantly interrupting. He was a effing Jerry Springer show. But she also said, it's very scary, but I can't support a leader, in quotes, who is dividing the country more than it was before. So I do agree there. And I feel you, Drea, because, one thing's for sure, Trump is trying to divide the country.
End of the day.
Yeah, end of the day. He wants
not trying. He's already.
Right. He has.
But in that take, you gotta understand these people. I'm actually glad that it woke up a lot of people we should have been seeing their underlying, viewpoints in the first place. So I'm not really salty at it.
Right.
I mean, because at the end of the day, they was gonna make sure that man got in office regardless.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we know, it's a lot of our Trump supporters that I didn't even know, like y'all okay with what he's doing?
Right.
So we needed to wake up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a messed up way for us to wake up, but we needed to wake up. And I think our focus as a people should be using our strengths to be able to get our own communities where we need to be without the permission and without us putting our faith in some people that's just really trying to get that vote, get in office. They got their own agendas.
All they want to do.
They got their own stuff they're looking at, and what's really going on in our neighborhoods and our communities that have been going on, they're not even going to care about.
Right.
They're going to care about it when they come around and like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But when let's add that to the list. They're not lying when they say that. We're going to address that, but it may be year 4.
Yeah, it's going to be
right. Or next term.
Next term, yeah. So I feel like what I personally want to see is the efforts that we all give to these campaigns for us to vote in our own communities and we can elect our own person and still exercise our right to vote and know what we have going on in our communities and build it to a way that no matter what they do, what they don't approve, we'll still be okay because we're listening to our own needs. Because we've been getting ignored for so long. It doesn't matter which term or how long somebody been in. That's the reality of it.
And I love your take on that. What I want to ask you is this: with you deciding not to vote and saying, I'm not going to follow either one of them. I'm not going to follow him just because he's a Dem and just because it's not Trump. I want to follow someone who I know I can believe in, I can have faith in, who's going to look out for us. Right. So with you saying I don't want to vote, what do you think? I mean, let's just talk about that population of people, because obviously you're not the only one. There's many people who feel just like you feel, which is why, we wanted to have you talk about that and share that. I do just want to say these are not the views of the 419 Grind. We definitely feel like you should get out there and exercise your right to vote. It's definitely important. However, we understand that it is important to get this take on it because there are so many people who feel just like you feel, Bree, and there's no and we don't we don't judge you for feeling that way. We understand. So what can these people who feel like I'm not gonna even waste my time, I'm not even gonna vote, what should you all do? Like, what can you do to come together maybe to create some sort of change? Like, because we can't just not vote and then not do anything. So what do we do? But
my thing is with you voting, it's no different than a lot of people just go vote and that's it.
That's true.
It's not. It's no different.
But will it affect us? Because those Trump supporters, I'm not saying who I'm going for,
right.
They're going to vote. they're going to get him back in there.
Period.
So with the people, with us deciding not to, will that affect us?
We're just giving it.
What I'm saying,
or are we just giving it
affect
away?
us, and a lot of the, like I said, a lot of our issues that are at bay aren't even on their table to discuss. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just feel like we need to focus on our local voting more too. You know, we still have our chance to. We have elections that we have here locally in our city that we don't show up to.
Okay, so let's clarify that then. So you aren't opposed to voting?
No, it's the presidential election.
You're just like I'm not stunting this presidential election. And see, I like that take too, and I'm glad that you clarified that because I like that because there's too many people who just go out and vote at the presidential election
and don't do anything.
And like you said, it's not even doing anything. What we need to be really focusing on, and we should be focusing on all the elections, but what we need to focus on more importantly is these local elections. We need to be worried about who we're putting into our court systems. We need to worry about who we're making our sheriffs, our judges, our councilmen, you know what I mean? Our councilwomen.
Are we seeing them enough? Do we know enough about them?
We are not.
Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not seeing them enough. I don't know enough about it. And that's just me being completely honest about it.
And we've been doing this. I feel like we should start our practice here locally so then we can look at, you know, the next presidential election. And, you know, if there is a different candidate that we should really try to push for, I feel like my thing is we need to just get away from Republican and Democrat. Yeah. Because it's no different than, you know, all black people. We have our black people who don't even support our own black people.
Right.
Very true.
Oh, many of those. Many.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you can't.
So what are your guys' thoughts on Kanye West? And like, cause
at this point,
I was talking to my honey last night, and he was saying, you know, like he's worried about this whole Kanye West thing, and he's like, you know, obviously I know he's not gonna win. He was like, but the fact of the matter is he does have people who are literally gonna go vote for him, and he's like, so basically we're wasting all those votes, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's not wasting it because look who the other two people are.
True indeed.
And
people who are voting, and I'm not everyone, because I'm sure some people are gonna vote for Kanye just to be funny. But there are some people who probably genuinely are gonna vote for him because they really would love to see him in that position.
Oh my God,
we can't judge them for that.
We can't. Just like that's no different than a Trump supporter.
It is.
Your support is your support.
Period.
But I feel like people need to make sure they are comfortable with their support as that candidate, opposed to just the party. And I feel we need to come together as a people, and the same energy we give voting once this voting election is over, we need to start building our own teams.
We got to keep the momentum going.
For what we need to go, what we need to do in our communities.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time, and what you're going to see, and this is statistics and facts, everybody's like, well, that president didn't listen to us, and that president, when have they listened to us?
Right.
Please tell us.
So our
when have they?
You know, you done said you ain't voting, and you done got the live going crazy. I mean, let's shoot out some more of our. Let's show some love to some more of our viewers. Shout out to my boy Mike Fees. Hey, he's on the live. He says, good morning, Holy Toledo and family. Good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Keisha, Letitia, Lance again is on there. Charlisa, Kenneth. Hey, Kenny. Okay, let me just read some of these comments.
Okay.
Letitia says, this is why primary elections are as equally important. Yes, they definitely are, because those are the elections where we have to vote for our local officials, and we have to, that's more important, you know, than anything. Like Bree said, like we have to make sure that we put the right people within our community in the right position so that we can see real change in our community.
Right.
Charlisa said, voting is our right, and if we don't use it, then what happens if we lose it?
Well, that, like I said, the presidential election is just one way to exercise your vote. So people cannot condemn. And that's another thing. You have to be able to openly support and agree with other people's decisions.
Yes.
Just because someone does not vote the presidential election does not mean that we're not exercising our right to vote. These are the same people who go and vote for presidential election does not show up to their own primary.
Yeah, okay.
So at the end of the day, you cannot just put one over the other.
I agree.
When, you know, and it's going to be on your own personal opinion which one is more important.
I agree.
But I also do feel like us as a community need to change our mindsets, period.
Yes.
And stop putting our hands and hopes into other people and waiting on them to change and make change for us, and us work together.
I love that.
We all are coming together voting on people we don't even really know, when we have people and leaders in our own community that we can
and that we don't
vote
even
together,
we don't even take the
and
time
support.
Out
exactly.
I have never seen people support someone locally, or even in Ohio, the way that y'all going for Biden and Trump.
Right. Okay, so Kenneth Johnson, he says, it will definitely affect us and people don't understand and it will give the election away. What do you say to that?
So, like I said, I mean, this is just my opinion. Okay. It's an unpopular opinion, but I'm just, I'm not one to follow trends or popularity. Right. My mindset just over the past few years has been different, even when it comes down to religion, a lot of stuff that I was taught is just different. And this voting with the presidential election has changed my mindset too. So someone can argue me down all day about it's important. My thing is I'm looking at what we've gone through and our history.
Yeah.
Right.
And our people have voted. And voted.
And voted. And voted. And voted.
And voted. Over and over.
And voted.
But I guess what
to the point where people don't want to anymore.
And to the point where there's people who don't want to anymore. And I just, in my own personal take for this presidential election, is we need to shift our energy.
Yeah.
Because we have the potential to still hold what we need and get what we need. It's about who we're trusting to do this.
Yeah.
And yes, what happens at the presidential election, of course, that does matter. But at the end of the day, when it trickles down, there's still policies and stuff in place that we could have been building up on our own.
And then even too, the whole thing, because I'm a whole grown ass woman. I'm 37 years old.
And still don't really know.
Been voting since I was 18, but I still don't understand that whole thing of
I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Our votes aren't even what picks the president.
It's really not.
Electoral college or some shit.
Yes,
I don't know.
It does.
So why the hell are we voting if the electoral college is going to pick?
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to tell people.
And who is the damn electoral college?
Exactly. So
I already know.
And my thing is, I'm not telling people not to vote. If that's what you choose to do, vote.
Yes.
Me
personally,
I'm still
gonna vote. I'm gonna vote.
So my thing is, if you're gonna vote, still put some action towards it. Right. Don't just vote in, because this is where a lot of our people
don't just vote and put on that sticker and take your picture and post it on social media. I voted today.
And then be upset and then complain and say, oh, here's another election where a president didn't listen to us. It's not up to the president.
Well, you know what? Because, and going back to what you said, I didn't understand it completely. I know before when I was voting, I was voting and saying I did it and my vote should count. Yeah. Not knowing that, there's more things I could do to help this out. And still even right now, I go to my husband and say, hey, help me out to understand a little bit more of this, because I don't get it.
Yes, and we can make this an educational thing for our children too.
Absolutely.
Because I truly just didn't understand. I mean, I used to feel like, wow, I can't believe I'm this old and don't get it. But it doesn't matter how old you are. If you don't understand it, ask some questions. Let's get some more answers.
And if you think about it, this is no different than, like I said, I've been learning more as I've become older. It's a lot of stuff textbook that they don't really teach that is imperative for us to know. They put what they want us to know in the textbooks from kindergarten through college.
They've lied to us our whole education.
But at the end of the day, we should still do more.
We still need to do our own.
So that we can understand it. Like I said, the fact that I didn't understand it and was afraid to ask. You can't be afraid to ask questions. I think people look at you when you don't know something and go, you mean you're 35 and you're just now trying to ask questions. Yes, I am.
Yeah, and stop being judgmental.
Don't be judgmental.
Be informative.
Inform me. Talk to me about it. Let me see your views. And we can't argue. Let's not argue with each other. Let's literally try to see each other's views.
And this is
let's talk this out.
My issue. We have a people who, like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some. I'm used to it. Hey, Bree don't vote, so I can't rock with her. Like, that's messed up. She don't support our community. No, Bree in the community. I do what I need to do for the community. I'm always volunteering. I show up, and I'm not voting for. I have my reasons. I'm not gonna put them on air, but I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter if it's the president. If I see you done did some, if it's just no. I can't. I'm not gonna do it just because y'all feel like y'all gonna say me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get to the drawing board and link up with the people I feel like we can make a difference on our own, where I ain't even gotta wait on the president.
I'm with you on
and
that.
If we need to challenge, if y'all think about it, there's so many other communities that do this. take example the lawsuit our governor has against him right now. It was a group of people, and there's people who don't agree with what he did, and they have a lawsuit against him.
Wait. For people who don't know what you're talking about,
correct.
Tell people what you're talking
about. Our Ohio governor, Mike DeWine, there's people trying to get him arrested because they feel he did not handle the pandemic. Okay.
He did the best
so my thing and what I'm saying to that is, when you educate yourself, when you put the work in, and you feel like you're being ignored, or you feel like the president is challenging the best options for you, you have position and power if people educate themselves to go and challenge that.
Yeah.
If they're trying to stop you from doing what's best for you. We can't just keep putting our lives in the hands of someone else and hoping and praying for change when we're not. I just want this same energy. Yes, if you're a voter, go vote. That's your right. If people do not vote, don't judge them. Let them exercise their right.
I agree.
But for both sides, let's put this work in locally so that no matter what the president decide to do or not do when they get in term, we gonna be straight here.
I love that. I love that take on it, because like you said, at the end of the day, we can make a change, and we can make a stand in our own communities to see some change. So on that note, this conversation is getting hot. It's getting heated. We got our tuners. We got our listeners and our viewers tuning in and weighing in on the conversation. And we're definitely gonna take some callers we're gonna take a quick break. We gotta pay some bills. We're gonna take some callers when we come back. We want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? We see you guys weighing in. We see you tuning in. We love you. Thank you. But call in when we get back from this break.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
It's Sandy Brown, owner of the Toledo Threat basketball organization, and I have some great news. The Toledo Threat are officially joining the 419 Grind podcast with our new show, Nothing But Net. On the show, you'll see athletes, coaches, and even community leaders who have nothing but net careers. Now, they may have hit a few bricks along the way, but with hard work and dedication, they're now seeing a consistent shot within their careers. You can catch us right here every Wednesday at 7 o'clock starting September 30th on the 419 Grind podcast. Until then, nothing but net.
If you're tired of church as usual, and you're looking for something invigorating, exciting with passion, then the Greater New Psalmist Baptist Church, 3251 Glendale, is the place for you. We are a people that's determined to occupy all streets while cultivating cultural change. The only thing's missing is you. Meet us at 3251 Glendale Avenue as we continue to be relevant and occupy all streets while cultivating cultural change.
It feels like the very first time that I saw you, boy. I had a crush on you, yeah. I saw you from across the room. You danced your way over, and I knew it was over, yeah. Don't you wanna know me? Come and get to know me. Don't you need to know me, baby? Yeah, I'm crushing on you. I've been thinking of you. Come and get to know me, baby. Don't you wanna know me? Come and get to know me. Don't you need to know me, baby? Yeah, I'm crushing on you. I've been thinking of you. Come and get to know me, baby. I'm in love. Got a crush on you. Once a girl tells me it's my first time, I think I got a crush on you. I'm in love. Got a crush on you. Once a girl tells me it's my first time, I think I got a crush on you. It feels like the very first time that I saw you, boy. I had to dance into your arms. The way you move so right. And then you came close, and crushing on you, I've been thinking of you. Come and get to know me, baby. Don't you wanna know me? Come and get to know me. Don't you need to know me, baby? Yeah, I'm crushing on you, I've been thinking of you. Come and get to know me, baby. Got a crush on you. What's a girl to do? It's my first time. I think I've got a crush on you. I'm in love. Got a crush on you. What's a girl to do? It's my first time. I think I've got a crush on you. I'm in love. Don't you wanna get a crush on you? Don't you need to know? What's a girl to do? I've been crushing on you. Yeah, I'm thinking of you. I think I got a crush on you. I'm in love. Don't you wanna get a crush on me? Don't you need to know? What's a girl to do? I've been crushing on you. Yeah, I'm thinking of you. I think I got a crush on you. It feels like a melody from a song that's about love. A song that's about love. A song that's about love. And it feels like a dream to me, like it's from above. And oh, I'm crushing. Yeah, I'm crushing on you, baby. Oh yeah, I'm crushing. Don't you wanna know me? Come and get to know me. Don't you need to know me, baby? Yeah, I'm crushing on you. I've been thinking of you. Come and get to know me, baby. Don't you wanna know me? Come and get to know me. Don't you need to know me, baby? Yeah, I'm crushing on you. I've been thinking of you. Come and get to know me, baby. I'm in love. Got a crush on you. What's a girl to do? It's my first time. I think I've got a crush on you. I'm in love. Got a crush on you. What's a girl to do? It's my first time. I think I've got a crush on you. Yeah. I know you're crushing. Because I'm crushing too. Now everybody just step. Yeah. Come on. Now everybody just dance.
Welcome back to the all-new Rise and Grind Morning Show. It's your girl, Miss Leah Renee. Thank you for tuning in. And I got my girls with me. Hey, it's ladies night. I got Arlinda from the Self-Explanatory Podcast. And I got my girl, DJ Breezy from the No Facts Given Podcast. Man, we got heat. We got some beautiful ladies doing some beautiful things over here at the 419 Grind. So shout out to Jesse for bringing this solid ass team together, man. Shout out to Jesse and Dr. Vic and Big Trees, all my business partners and everybody else that's become a part of the 419 Grind family. Man, we're deep in this thing now. We is deep in this thing. Okay. Now, y'all, before we went to break, we were talking about the presidential debate and the presidential election. Things got heated. You know, we're talking about voting and not voting and who should we vote for, who shouldn't we vote for. And of course, DJ Breezy shared with everyone that she's not voting this presidential election. She said that that doesn't mean that she's not exercising her right to vote at all. She's choosing to not vote for the presidential election for her own personal beliefs and reasons. And that has, you know, the live going crazy. You know, our viewers are tuning in. They're weighing in, and we love it. Shout out to all of our listeners and viewers who are on the live right now. Throw up them hearts. And if you haven't already shared the video, please make sure you share the video. So we're going to go to the live and see who's on the live. My boy Mike Fee says he already won due to the pandemic, but all elections are important. Know who you're voting for. Knowledge is power. Yes, Mike Fee, you are so right about that. Yes. Dr. Vic says attend your local city council meetings regularly.
That right there.
And he says, Dr. Vic says the presidential election does affect on a local level. He says that we need to be attending our local city council meetings and you know, in dealing with those elections as well. But also, you know, he says the presidential election does have a lot to do with us locally and as a community. So he believes it's important that we do get out and vote. He says that Dr. Vic also said, I'm sorry, let me just go back down here, because he said for those of us who are in Toledo who can make a change and who want to make a change, who want to try to do something, Toledo City Council has 3 meetings coming up, October 6th, October 20th, and November 4th at 4 p.m. So if you really want to get involved, you really want to see some change, you really want to make a difference, and maybe you feel like Breezy, maybe you say, I don't want to vote, I'm not voting for none of these presidents. Well, at least get to these meetings and do your research, figure out what you can do within this community. So thank you, Dr. Vic, for that information, because that's great information.
And for the working class who cannot make it in time, I want to say there's been some people who I'm gonna see if I can share the link, but they post a briefing, like still go and follow up on it. If you weren't able to attend it personally, still go and make it our point
Do your research,
to read up to what's going on, what was discussed, you know, so you can still know. Just because you weren't able to make it, that doesn't mean to, you know, not look into it. But I think us just saying it, you know, people will be more alert and attentive to making sure they do that.
Yeah. Mike Fees says, facts. We blacks can really make a change in this election. Only thing I feel stopping us is respect why felons can't vote. Okay, yeah. So he's saying basically he does agree, you know, our votes are impactful and powerful. We need to vote because we as blacks can really make a change. But he says he doesn't like the fact that felons can't vote, and I agree. I don't think that's right, but I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that they just know a lot of felons are black people. I mean, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like they can't tell black people you can't vote no more, right? So, well, let's go ahead and say felons can't vote, because
that takes away a lot.
It takes away a lot of our
push for a lot of black people to become felons. That's why you see a lot of black
I agree
people
with
the minus, they can have minor charges and get in a felony case for it, where someone of the opposite race gets probation.
Yeah.
So it's all systematic to me, which is crazy.
Shout out to my girl Tisha Holmes for educating us. She says for those of you who, like me, are still confused on the Electoral College, shout out to Tisha, says is a body of electors established by the U.S. Constitution, which forms every 4 years for the sole purpose of electing the president and vice president of the U.S. So there it is. I mean, do our votes really matter? I mean, this is why I say at 37, I'm still confused, because you tell me in one voice that my vote matters, but then in the next vote,
it's up to the Electoral College.
Right.
Correct. So, but my thing is, and that's why I said whether you vote or not, and like, I'm going to just put this out here. I am not telling people do not go vote. Exercise your right, your thought.
Yeah.
I also don't want people who already have it in their mind that they don't want to vote. We are the unpopular belief. But go with what you feel. Go with what's right. Do not just vote because you know that's what everyone else is doing.
Right.
Educate yourself, because as we were having conversation on break, you'll be surprised.
Having a really juicy conversation over the break. So.
And you'll be surprised why everyone's saying go vote. You'll be surprised how many black business class are actually voting for Trump.
Right.
Just because of the numbers and the business side of it. They're looking at how, you know, some people just look at it as, if they're business owners, how will this presidential election affect me? And there's a lot of African Americans and business class who feel that Trump has the better hand for them and better option. So that goes back to study. Don't just go off of what you see posted on Facebook.
Yeah. And so I want to, at this point, bring Dewan into the conversation. Dewan is our intern. He engineers our show. He does a great job. But Dewan, you had kind of chimed in during the break, and you were talking to DJ Breezy. And I love that conversation because you're a young man, you know, you're of the, younger generation. And you were more or less trying to kind of convince DJ Breezy that she needs to vote. And I love that. I thought that was so cute. I mean, I was watching, I was listening, and that was dope. But I want...
And his approach. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
So I want you to kind of, if you can really remember what your approach was and how you started.
Because we should have recorded.
We should have recorded that. So tell us your thoughts and what you were feeling and what you had to say to DJ Breezy during the break.
Okay, so I was saying, like, as a young black businessmen and women, and like we entrepreneurs, that voting do matter. The presidential election do matter for us, because you got Biden that's gonna raise taxes for people like us, like, because we not in the lower tax bracket, but we not rich, but we not in the lower tax bracket.
Yeah, in the middle class.
So in that way, voting now, I'm not saying vote for Trump, but I'm saying he might be your best candidate because he a businessman, he for pro-business, and they both gonna be racist regardless, so you can't change that. You gotta vote, like you say, you gotta vote in the communities, but that don't mean that the presidential election go away. You still you might as well use your vote for where it counts.
Yes, if you choose to. Yes. And I liked his approach though. That. And what I want to say is, even though we don't have the same stance on it, we were able to effectively sit and have a conversation about it. And I respect his viewpoints. And he did make some wonderful viewpoints in regards to, you know, the education part on it. You know, Biden, you know, and that's why I'm not going to go back and forth because y'all, you know, people
you feel
voting.
How you feel.
You know,
and see, that's why it's important that we don't, like you said, like we can't judge each other. Whatever the decision. Listen, I encourage everyone to vote. I definitely think it's important. However, if you choose not to vote, that is your decision. And if you choose to vote for Trump, that is your decision. If you choose to vote for Biden, that is your decision. Like, we have to stop making this big ass fight about what and who people are voting for and what and who people believe in. You believe in what you believe in and standing firm on what you believe in, and like, don't worry about everybody because we can't control everybody else.
Definitely cannot.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Leah, I just want to let everybody know too, because I've been in jail for a felony and stuff, and so
thank you for sharing that.
I wanted to let the viewers know that when you release from prison or wherever you was at, once you get off parole or do your maximum sentence, your voter registration rights is restored.
Yes. Okay, thank you for telling me that. And shout out to Kenny Johnson, who's on the live. He also stated that felons can vote. I'm sorry. I apologize for that because I clearly was misinformed.
Once again, it's just being informed, and we appreciate
that.
Yes,
I appreciate that. Yeah,
so he clarified it. So it's not that all felons can vote.
It's not that all felons can vote.
It's the felons who have
like pending
finish they're still on once you finish your parole, once you've done, you know, you can still have that felony on your record, but once you're off paper,
basically once you've
you
done
can
your
still
time,
go and vote.
Once you've done your time and you're done and you've paid your debt to society, you your voter rights are restored.
I believe some people
thank you for that, 'cause I didn't
feel
know that.
like felons, you know, every felony situation is different.
Yeah,
a lot of
shout
people
out to my boy Big Trees. He'll be the first to say I'm a felon.
Yeah,
and I'm right. You know, and he sits in meetings and Zoom meetings with people who I ain't. You know what I mean? I'm a college graduate and I ain't even sat with these people. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not the end of a road for felons. And a lot of people try to paint that picture for people who've had a felony. Like, you know, you got that felony on your record, so you can't do this. And then, yes, and Lance said, except Florida. So, like I said, this goes to the educational part. Educate yourself. And I feel like we should just educate ourselves on each state, not only Ohio. Because every state has their own, you know, their own stipulations on who can vote, who cannot. And there's a lot of felons who, we gonna plug our felonies in. Get on your stuff. Period. Go clear your stuff up. Go to court. You know,
we need you.
Get on a payment plan, you know, pay off those fines. Because unfortunately, the reality is they extend a lot of people felonies just over fines and things of that nature.
They did that for a reason.
And they did that for a reason.
It's all a calculated step. No, let's not let these felons, you know, we can't let them go that easy because that's going to be some votes in our, you know, that aren't in our favor. So I feel like that was definitely a calculated step.
It was. So don't think because you have that felony on your record that it's just over for you. Take care of it. Get off parole. You know what I'm saying? I've known people who have literally changed their life around, haven't had anything but a ticket, and went back to court. Like, man, my felony been on here for 10 years. I ain't had nothing but a speeding ticket. I've worked, The judge, you depending on the judge, they'll really, you know, you know what? Your term is over. You're off parole. You've done your due diligence. Yeah. So don't give up on the fact that you have a felony.
Right.
Yes, those who are out of the system, yes, they can still vote. But even for those who are still in that process and have some time on parole, don't just let it pile up. Don't just keep doing stuff because it's like, man, I'm already on.
Like you said, still educate yourself on what is going on in the community so that you do know and you're well versed on it, you know?
Correct.
You know, I just want to go back to our live again because again, like I said, our viewers and our listeners are definitely weighing in. I love it. What I would really like though, I want you guys, one of y'all to call in. I need somebody to call in right now. Call in right now and we want to hear from you.
A call at 419-540-3566. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, so we're talking the presidential election and we're talking voting. And what we want to know is not who are you voting for? That's your business. But one, are you voting? And two, have you changed your mind on who you're going to vote for based on watching the presidential election? After watching the presidential election, have you changed your mind on who you're going to vote for? And on that note, we got a caller. Hey, yay. You have reached the watching the presidential election. Turn your phone down. Turn your phone down for me, please. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Okay, you are on the line with the Rise and Grind Morning Show with Leah, Arlinda, and DJ Breezy. Who do I have?
This is Kenny Johnson. How you doing, Leah?
Hey, Kenny. That's my boy. Kenny. What's up with you, Kenny? I love that you were the one that called in because you know you be going. You be going, Kenny.
First and foremost, I want to speak to the part about the felonies. Like the part about you not being able to vote, it is directed at being still incarcerated, even if you were on probation, if you were on parole, if you have fines, if you've been released, yes, you can still vote.
Oh, okay.
The part where your rights have been removed is during incarceration. Okay. Once you've been released, and I'm almost probably 97 to 98% facts knowing that that's the case, but to do some research, and that might be something during the process leading up to voting that you guys can speak on.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Everybody just take some time to do some research.
Yeah.
Also, briefly, like I think, and Bree is it's a good friend of mine. She definitely keeps me sharp about a lot of things. Like we have a lot of sidebar conversations.
We do.
And she will put me up on game. I'll put her up on game. Like good friend of mine. But what I will say is that we do need to vote. I definitely support her. Like I know she definitely probably knows I'm going to be one of the people that's going to call, and we're going to probably have a good heart-to-heart, heated conversation because I respect her opinion and her thought process as she does mine. But we need to vote, and we need to exercise, in my opinion, our right to vote. And I think a lot of times people are just not voters. Like for whatever reason, they don't want to take the time to get up and vote. They don't want to take the time to get up and go get registered. The registration process is kind of lengthy. Like if you move, you'll go to your voting registration station and you're not listed, and that'll be it. Like people won't take the due diligence to go find out where they are. Like I've had to go to 2-3 stations just because of a change of address from moving. But a lot of times people won't even want to do that.
I'm about to go through all that.
I'm not about to go through all that. Now realizing how important it is, like when the older people said that, people died for us to have that right to vote. And it's like almost right now, we're voting for the lesser of two evils. Yet we might not agree with Biden, we might not agree with Trump, but who do we disagree with the least? And I think that is so important. And by the lack of us voting, that might just give Trump the win again. That's why he got the win, in my opinion, the last time, because so many people, not that they didn't want to vote for Trump or who he was running against, they just weren't voters.
They
that's just simply weren't voters. And that's what the scary part is. Like, I agree with Bree, and I'm definitely curious to what her reasoning is. And I'm pretty sure 99% of the conversation she'll tell me, and she doesn't want to share that. But I think we need to understand that it's so important to vote.
Yeah. Kenny, let me ask you this. I know that you're voting obviously by your beliefs, and I think that's awesome. After watching the presidential debate, did you sway your mind any on which candidate you were going to choose?
Actually, I didn't watch the debate. I was at work.
Okay.
And I'm going to vote like I feel like a lot of Republicans. I don't think a lot of Republicans even like Trump, but what they did is they voted Republican. So I'm not going to be probably voting.
And that's what I was saying. Though.
I'm not going to vote per se for Biden. And I don't honestly know enough about Biden to probably, this conversation alone is going to make me do some research. Listen, and I agree. And this conversation alone is going to make me want to do some research.
Exactly. But see, that's what we do over here at the Rise and Grind Morning Show.
That's all that matters.
Listen, but it's like this, all right?
We need the round of applause button.
I love the 419 grind, but it's just like somebody can say, oh, I don't like Lear, I don't like the 419 grind.
Everybody says that.
Listen though, but people will run with that rather than taking the time out to see for themselves, to watch for themselves, to experience for themselves. They will run with that. So before I say, oh, I'm not going to vote for Biden because somebody else says he's not a good, like I've witnessed Trump be trash. I've witnessed a lot of the things that Trump has done and how he has handled the country, handled himself, represented us as a country, as the most powerful country in the world. I've watched it firsthand. So before I just be like, well, oh, such and such said this and such rumor has it that Biden did this, like I am going to do some research. But first and foremost, I know I don't want Trump back in office. So what I will do is I might not be voting for Biden, but what I am going to do is vote against Trump. So I want my vote to be cast to tally up for the numbers that will be against getting him back in.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I like that take on it. I appreciate you weighing in and calling and giving your thoughts on that.
Thank you. And then before he gets off, I went in because I like to fact check, so I will stand corrected. And this is something we can educate ourselves on. This is why these conversations are important.
Very important.
Definitely.
Because we have to be able to okay, we can think we're right all day, but then it's what's textbook, what's facts is facts. Yeah. So I went to this State of Ohio website, and I'm just going to read this off. And Kenny, while you're on the phone, yes, you were correct. So a person currently serving time in jail or prison for a felony conviction can neither register to vote nor vote. Mm-hmm. Additionally, a person who has twice been convicted of a violation of Ohio's elections laws is permanently barred from voting in Ohio. So this depends on what kind of felony you have and how many.
Okay.
So that's one. That's one factor.
For clarifying that.
Stress on that one. That part of it. If you've been convicted of voting felony.
No, it's just of the Ohio election laws. So we have to look at the elections laws to see what that is.
Gotcha.
And otherwise, qualified person convicted of a misdemeanor may vote. An otherwise qualified person who had been convicted of a felony may register and vote while on probation or parole or after completing his or her jail or prison sentence. The voter registration of a person who is incarcerated on a felony conviction is canceled. Once that person has completed his or her jail or prison sentence or is on probation, parole, or community control, he or she must register to vote by the registration deadline before voting.
Okay.
So now we got to go and look at the elections laws. Yeah. And this is what Kenny stated. A lot of times just, from the convenience factor, dang, I don't want to go to this poll. I don't want to have to go
research, right?
Right. So now
we miss out on so many votes because they have that statement has been out there and no one.
Exactly. But we do need to go. We need to go and read. Now this takes us for people who have more than one felony conviction. We need to go and educate ourselves on the Ohio elections laws so that we can know what their standpoints are. Because we can't just say, oh, you got two or more. It's something in those elections laws, so that's going to take us from this one. So now we got to go research some more.
Right.
Even with what you just said, and this is the part where we have to be mindful of how people see. Like I had to learn recently that people eat with their eyes.
Yeah.
That people don't really, they eat with their eyes. So even, Bree, I know that you're saying that we have not confirmed that it's 2 felonies and you can't vote. But be specific, and let's be specific because people don't hear correctly that is something that's going to be researched and brought back to the table because somebody be like, oh, well, I had 2 felony convictions and I can't vote. That's not what you said.
No.
I know that's not what you said.
Right.
But people need to be we have to be so definitive because people will only hear certain things. So
and even when we are definitive, people just have
we
need to research. People hear what they want to hear.
No. We've confirmed that part. But I'm saying there's somebody out there that'll be listening.
Listen.
DJ Breezy said that I can't vote if I got to. That's not what you said.
Me and you both know we could say fact to fact, and we can even put a teleprompter up with the what is that? With the words, and they go still take away.
Yeah, you're right.
What they want to take away. But that goes along with what you guys just said. We are looking for our own people to help us and give us knowledge. So what he's saying is people aren't going to look at that and hear what you said and take it wrong. And I think we need to.
So let's just be clear.
Let's just be clear. Let's just be clear because we are looking. I am looking and getting information from this young man and from you and from Kenneth on the phone and from you.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure it is very clear. If we're going to be those people that they're listening to, make sure they understand what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like I know what Bree. I heard what DJ Breezy said.
So we need to
have to
research
for the election rules.
Yep. And election laws of Ohio.
And after 2 felonies, you have to look at the election law. It's something probably specific in there.
Correct.
But because we know that how people comprehend and how they hear and how they listen are 3 separate different things, let's just even give the disclaimer that's something you guys are going to look into.
Yes.
Give a little bit of time. And 419 Grind is going to have the information so that those people that have even had 2 felonies, that there can still be some hope and we're going to get some clarity because I promise you, I promise you, it's the game of telephone.
Yeah, it is. The game of telephone. And then also, I just want to tell people, don't wait for us. You know, I want our people.
That's the whole point.
No matter if you're white, black,
do our research.
We need to get accustomed to it. And I feel like we don't have an excuse because everything is in our hands of our phone. Even school and jobs now have moved to virtual and technology.
When you were young, did you really take out the time to do that research?
No, we didn't.
No.
I went and got Cliff Notes. I got Cliff Notes.
Yeah. So I think it's not hard. Just like I was able to during that conversation, I went and then this is another thing.
Just that quick.
Yeah.
Google research doesn't. This was easy. And I just want so people can know it's not always going to be that easy to find it.
Right.
And then you also have to look at more than one source sometimes to get a good understanding. But I'm learning that now as, you know, a person. I have to, when I'm fact checking, it's more than one source that's going to give me or possibly can give me the right. And then I also do like to go, like, I'm on the state of Ohio's website because sometimes people can make their own article and post it.
Right. And that's not necessarily
what's fact. So, and that's a part of research. You're going to look at people's opinions. This conversation in itself can be considered research because people are, you know, tuned in to them.
Yeah,
exactly.
But then
1000%. Now it's time to go. Now it's time to go deeper. You know, so we can. Now I got to look on here and find out. Okay, where am I going to go to find the electoral? And I'm pretty sure it's going to be like 20 pages.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go and really,
And so what I will say, I definitely thank you for calling in and giving your take, Kenny, and I'm definitely gonna do that. I am sitting on a platform. That's what we're here for.
Correct.
I'm going to make that a priority for myself to look into these felony laws and voters' rights and figure out the details of it, and then I can put that out on another show because you are right. We are on a platform. We are putting out this information saying, you know, you need to go vote. So we should do our due diligence, and we should know, and we should be doing our research. And although we want our listeners and viewers to go out there and do their own research, we as a podcast studio and as podcasters and as people who are on social media platforms, you know, who are speaking to other people and influencing other people, we do have to do that. We have to do our research and we have to inform our listeners. And so I'm going to make that a priority, and I'm going to get some more information on that. And I'm going to...
What do y'all feel about a challenge?
Quick
challenge?
Question.
I love a challenge. What's the question,
I definitely
Kenny?
love a challenge. Quick,
we know, Kenny.
Is it shut up, Bree.
Kenny loves a challenge.
Is it a bad thing if Trump gets reelected?
No.
No, it depends on the person.
I'll say this.
No. Okay, I get that. I love thought-provoking conversation.
Yeah, he's been in office for 4 years. What I will say is that
should I merge the caller?
Yeah. Go ahead.
That.
Let's merge a caller.
We're bringing someone in, Kenny.
We're gonna bring somebody else in. Hello, caller. You're on the line. You've reached the All New Rise and Grind Morning Show. You have Leah Renee, Kenny Johnson, Arlinda Self, and DJ Breezy. What's your name?
How you doing? This is Mike Fees calling from a different number.
Hey, what's up, Mike Fees?
Good morning, beautiful queens.
Thank you.
Shout out to the king in the building. Shout out to the king in the building.
Yes.
we got two kings in the building.
Yeah, we got three kings in the building.
Oh, three. But shout out to the kings and to the boss kings and the boss queens in the building. How that sound?
So,
good morning, y'all.
Good morning. So you've been listening to the conversation. You've been weighing in on the thread. I love it. So what's your thoughts on everything that we're talking about?
I got y'all notifications on.
Are you voting, Mike Fees?
Oh, yeah, of course I am. But the last couple of years, I haven't voted because I was lost in my knowledge, though, and my intelligence.
I love to hear
so
that.
I had to do my research.
So what changed? What changed your mind, though? Like, what was it that clicked, and you were like, you know what? I need to start doing my research and figure some things out.
You want to know? You want to know?
I do.
What changed my mind? Okay, let me ask you this. A lot of people that don't do music, if we ask them who their favorite artist is, right, they ain't going to say, Digital Underground or NWA, unless we say groups. But if we say artists, Pac got some historical things. And if it weren't for Pac, I believe Donald Trump would be as far as he is because he only got in the office off of popularity and money.
Yeah.
Obama got in the office because we black people, the first time in the world ever seen African Americans come together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've taken a lot of games from you. I ain't gonna waste too much, but only thing that I can say is, like y'all said, do y'all research. Don't think because you got a college degree or a high school diploma education stop you. Ain't never too old to learn.
That's right.
People living 110 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
and, to be honest with you, I believe Kanye West can beat Donald Trump. It's just my
so
opinion.
So are you voting for
research.
Kanye?
Only if he run. If he run, I'm going against Trump. But I'm going to be honest with you, Trump ain't nobody to play with because he has so many conspiracies and connections and ties and stuff that if R. Kelly could get trapped up in some stuff that people knew about, then why Donald Trump hasn't been convicted yet? Because I did my research on him.
Man,
He's
listen.
been a billionaire for decades.
Man, that's he's a criminal.
He's a true criminal. I mean, look at just what just came out over the news. It just came out.
They all are criminals, though.
They already
white collar criminals.
But you see that if he gets reelected.
But listen, this is crazy. Look at it though. We just sat here and gave education about felons. And trying to get their votes to.
And we got a felon in the office right now.
And we got felons that we're voting for. You feel me? That just have not
and we'll be back in there too.
And have not been convicted of their crime.
I mean, this man has even just let's focus on what just came out in the news over the last week about his taxes.
Y'all.
I mean,
just that alone.
Dude, how are you paying $750 in taxes?
Wait, did y'all know that the black man was the only one who paid the most taxes out of all of them?
Exactly.
That's true facts.
Ain't that crazy?
Crazy.
And while y'all were talking, I was still doing my research.
Because he talk about it.
No, it's not that.
Talk about it. How we know that Biden ain't paying taxes? Or
well, no, because they have to get audited. There is some type of thing where like that came out due to wasn't it? Didn't it have to be released at one point in time?
Well, I know, like once they during the presidential elections, or and I don't want to because I don't know for sure.
Right.
So I'm just saying what I think is that they're supposed to once they are running or once they get into the office, they are supposed to provide that. They're supposed to provide.
But he didn't at first, and I think they had to go to court for that.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing.
Yeah,
a whole thing just because he didn't want to give up his record. So now it's been 4 years later because this all started when he was
he was
campaigning.
Now
it's been 4
years. He didn't even follow the own rules as becoming a president.
How did he even get away with this?
We don't know.
The man got history with a guy named Jeffrey Einstein, man. This man was a billionaire that could have ran for president itself, had islands in other countries and multiple mansions in the United States of America. So Trump did.
Man, so this stuff is deep, y'all.
It's deeper than the election.
So that go back to that question, though. Is it a bad thing if he is reelected?
We don't.
Yeah, of course it's a bad thing to be reelected, but we can't make everybody follow our decisions.
Right.
Oh, you're right. We can't make everybody follow their decisions.
But it's definitely a bad thing to reelect him, but it could be a good thing too. So it's up to y'all to figure out. So that's where it becomes an opinion question instead of a false or a fact.
For sure, definitely. It's definitely it has to spark a thought-provoking conversation in regards to will it be a bad thing if he's reelected? And to me,
okay. Well, as of right now, to answer your question, for me, compared to all the people he run into, unless Kanye run, then no, it's not a bad idea.
What was his name? Is it Michael?
Mike Fees.
Mike Fees. Why would you vote for Kanye? Again, I didn't know if you.
Oh, because he's the only musician I know that could go to multiple countries and do multiple shows to sell out arenas with millions of people, 100,000 of people, and he's a butt crack. What I mean by that is. Okay. He's an asshole. But he could go to multiple countries and meet people with no security, have his face mask up and everything. You don't know if this man a sniper or what.
But how is he going to help us?
So what is your reasoning for why? What does?
Well, it takes somebody dumb to change the United States of America. We ain't had nobody as smart in office besides Donald Trump. See, Obama was peer pressure. He ain't get a chance to show the African American spotlight.
He didn't.
Let me ask you guys this. Since we're speaking about Obama, do you guys feel that we're having such a lapse in the black vote now because so many people went out and voted, for both of those elections to vote Obama in office, and a lot of black people feel as if he didn't do anything for us,
and that's messed up. A lot of people do feel that way.
That's not my personal belief.
You gotta realize
but a lot
that
of people,
even in an election, you don't even a president won't even a president 9 times out of 10 won't even be able to experience the things that he's implemented until a term or two after he's
because it's even because people
are he never helped us while he was in office. You got to really understand politics,
right? You do.
It's a seed that's planted. So when I plant this seed, That's like a kid. You would birth a kid. You might not ever see your kid grow up.
Yeah.
So we got to understand that the things that Obama did, like right now, Trump is on the second term. He's still trying to undermine Obama.
It's personal.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say. So it's
not even as personal. It's the fact that the power or the magnitude of something like Obamacare. Obama.
That's why I said it's personal. He has a personal vendetta against Obama that he's overlooking everything and just focusing on erasing everything Obama did.
See, what I think
Obama is probably just now sitting back appreciating a lot of things he implemented, because you don't even get to see these things to fruition while you're in office.
Well, I have a question. Did you all vote for Obama?
I did.
Okay. Did you vote because you knew?
No, I didn't know. I just knew he was a black man. That's how I voted.
I voted
Democrat
for Obama.
I voted because he was black, but I also voted because of the person he was.
Okay.
And Democrat. And what I seen. Yes. That's
and his supporter system. Yeah. Donald Trump wife don't even support him like
at all.
Adam supported Eve.
Yeah, so
and he's one of the most evilest people in the world.
Back to that thing, like I think too is like how you guys were saying, we don't get to see because I think it's a misconception that a lot of black people have, is that we voted Obama in office and he didn't do it. He did plenty, but again, if you haven't done your research and you know nothing about politics,
money and everything like Donald Trump doing to manipulate people.
Hold on, guys. Let me finish. So if you don't know about politics and you don't know and you haven't done your research, then you might have this vision of like, he didn't do nothing for me. No, you just don't know because you haven't even done the research for yourself.
Well, can I ask what do you think he did do? What did he do for us black people?
And I mean, that's something we could go back and forth with all day, but the
can we hear a little bit?
The focus on that is what Leah said. A lot of times, and this is when I said all this stuff gets put on this list and you don't see it come to happen until
a lot of stuff that's going on in the Trump administration that people are giving him credit for is shit that Obama made happen, and now it's just coming to
that is true. I just wanted to hear it out loud.
And listen, and it only
giving me the Holy Ghost.
Let's talk about it.
It came out now, you know what I'm saying? Right. And it's not the work he did.
Right.
He's just in office and trying to take credit for
and a lot
and it took that long. It took that long. And this is my thing. And this is why I'm telling people, our people is more than just about who people don't like.
True.
I want our mindset to stop in this. I'm gonna keep saying this. We cannot keep putting what we need to come to pass for us in the hands of other people.
And being
being upset
and then be upset because you feel like, they did not do it. First of all, this is a good example. A lot of stuff that Obama put on the table, it done took almost 8 years for it to even come to pass.
Yes.
So yes, it's okay to vote, but we need to do more than vote. A lot of people, I want, and this is all I'm gonna keep saying, this energy, this campaign energy. I know a lot of black people who have rallied, donated, and came up with hundreds of $1,000s on behalf of Biden.
Right.
Very true.
That same money can be put in our own neighborhoods.
Yes, absolutely.
To build what we need in our own neighborhoods. So yes, vote, but this same energy, we need to focus and shift our energy to what really matters the most. Because in this election, a lot of stuff that y'all praying and hoping for the president to do is not going to happen when you want it.
Period.
But that doesn't mean that it cannot happen, because y'all raised almost $500,000 in 2 months for a candidate you don't even know.
And even furthermore than that, we're raising money through this Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, come on, we can make a true change in our community.
We can. If we just
on that note, y'all, we do got to take a quick break. We got to pay some more bills. This is a juicy conversation. Kenny and Mike Fees, thank you guys for calling in. We appreciate your
thank y'all for the knowledge, because I wanted to listen more to talk, but I'll talk to y'all later.
We love you guys.
Have
we love
a good day,
you. Thank you.
Y'all too.
Love you too.
Love y'all too.
And thank you for all our listeners and viewers for staying tuned in. We want to hear from some more of you guys when we come back from the break. So stay tuned and make sure you call in.
Hey, did they hear that? Who? Oh.
This is another 419 Grind exclusive.
Welcome to Financial Friday at the 419 Grind Studio. My name is Victor J. Coleman Jr., also known as the Doctor of Finance. Today's topic, education. As you can see my shirt, it says danger. Education empowers us all, right? It's the way we can ultimately change our family and change our community. So my challenge to you is, it's not just in a traditional way, but in the day-to-day life and living. Educate yourself. What is it you can learn today that will make your life today better tomorrow? My challenge would be to get on YouTube University and learn something. Many of the college courses that I have taken, I've found similar courses on YouTube. You can go and take those courses. Don't let the lack of diploma discourage you. I often brag that, hey, I graduated from YouTube University, and that's how I learned to renovate houses. So don't be ashamed to get your education from where you can get it from. Education with the price tag makes it no better. Trust me. I know people who went to college and they're not even working in the field that they've got the degree. So don't be discouraged because you don't have a diploma from a particular university to say that I did it. Go out there and learn what you can learn. Start your own business and grow. But most importantly, never stop learning. I watched my mom most of my life. She worked 2 and 3 jobs, but she's never stopped learning. In fact, I think she might still be in school today. So my point is continue to learn. Continue to give yourself the edge over your competition by learning new things, new tips, new tricks, new tools. Add it to your tool belt and go out there and be fierce and fight for what's yours. That's this week's financial tip, because education can change your life. Education can increase your finances. Again, my name is Victor J. Coleman Jr., known as the Doctor of Finance. For more tips and tricks like these, please send me a text, 419-909-6196, or follow us on all social media sites at The 419 Grind.
That time, ladies and gentlemen. Make your way to the dance floor.
I'm addicted to your vibe, and I wanna get to know you tonight. Baby, come closer. No rush, girl, take your time. Put your high heels on, let's slide. I wanna hold ya. We can step aside and rock to the rhythm, put your body on me. Baby, let's groove. We can spin a little dip. I hope you feel me pushing all my weight up on you, cause I'm in the mood for you. We can step, slide, and rock to the rhythm, put your body on me. Baby, let's groove. On my way up on you, cause I'm in the mood for you.
Sipping as I listen, catch my rhythm and the tempo. Grip on me with tension just a little, put my mental in a pickle. Your vibe creates a riddle in my mind, trying to decide how did I find a mystery guy, can't describe how. Our bodies rocking, fingers locking, nah. Your eyes can we on chill like Sunday topping, I like that. I write back, read my body language, should recite that. How we spin like circles, but shining like diamonds, slow motion, we grinding, we hurt them so violently, killing them silently. Your hands caress me in ways that don't undress me, impeccably impressing, and your moves is no contesting, Subliminals, I pray to plentiful, let's make a minimal. The paradigm we setting ain't no typical cynical one, just to go digital with liberal imperial. You wanna cuff, I'll be your criminal, you dig it?
I'm addicted to your vibe, and I wanna get to know you tonight. Baby, come closer. No rush, girl, take your time. Put your high heels on, let's slide. I wanna hold ya. We can step, slide, and rock to the rhythm, put your body on me. Baby, let's groove. Feel me pushing all my weight up on you, cause I'm in the mood for you. We can step, slide, and rock to the rhythm, put your body on me. Baby, let's
said you do it.
She said that was Nate Wicks. Mood.
All right, are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
We're here.
Girl,
That was Nate Hicks. Was it Move?
Mood.
Yes.
I like that
mood.
Yes,
too.
Nate Hicks.
I was in here swaying.
That's why we came back. We didn't know we didn't know what was
confused.
going on, y'all, because we was in that mood.
We was in a mood.
That was a whole mood right there.
It was.
But thank you to our callers who called in and gave that information.
Shout out to Kenny and Mike
That
Fees.
was dope, and we appreciate you for that. I do want to go in. We're here with Leah and DJ Breezy, and of course Arlinda Self from Self-Explanatory.
Yes.
I wanted to go in really quickly. One thing I was always worried about when I voted was, how do I know I voted?
Right.
You know, how do I know where to find my information? So
That's a good question.
Yes, I always wanted to know. I'm like, well, I mean, who do I call? Where do I go? So I went to iwillvote.com.
Okay.
And that will show you where you can see if you're registered. And if you're not, make sure you are.
Okay.
And have the right polling place, like Kenny was saying.
Exactly, and that you have the right polling place. And I know he was saying, I know it gets stressful if you moved and things like that, but this is, you got to take out the time. We're on our phones all day.
And so this is like a one-stop shop.
And this is a one-stop
there's
shop.
No excuse.
So there is no excuse. Go to iwillvote.com, and it will say, hey, check and see if you're registered. You can register to vote. And you can vote by mail, by person, whatever, but you want to make sure you learn more about voting. If you can click on that, there's a number there as well. So like she just said, it's a one-stop, okay? You can also check the number. Let's see. You can call our voter hotline, or their voter hotline, 833-336-8683. Once again, you can go to iwillvote.com. And if you have questions, you can call 833-336-8683. You do want to know to make sure that you are registered, and if you do vote, hopefully you do, just my opinion,
right,
that you know that your vote was cast.
Yes.
Now, I know that Trump was talking about fraud, right?
Shoot.
Trump talking about fraud?
Out of our people.
That
Wow.
The ballots are going to get lost, the votes are going to get lost, blah blah blah. This. What are y'all thoughts about that? Do you think that people were just taking votes and throwing them away, and that they're not,
That could be. Man, the system's so crooked. I don't trust
That's why
much.
It's like, they talk about like I think it's so funny how Trump says, if I don't win, it's because the election was rigged. What?
Exactly.
So if you do win, it could have still been that the election was rigged.
But he doesn't care about
when he
that.
won.
It was rigged when he won. Yeah.
But thank you for that information, because that was great info
Don't
for
forget
our
about
listeners
that.
and our viewers.
And if someone can look up, we have to look up too in regards to like the addresses, making sure you take your time to go to the BMV to update your address or have proof of address, things of that nature, so that that can help eliminate, you having confusion and issues on where you're supposed to vote. And how that works with how they verify, because all this stuff could matter.
Yeah,
someone could tell you it doesn't, but then it could be something as small as your address didn't match where your polling system was, so we can't count your vote. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that is it, but at least make sure everything. You got everything in order.
Make sure all your T's are your I's are dotted and your T's
are
crossed.
crossed. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
So during the break, I had posed a question to my beautiful queen counterparts. And this is we're getting off of voting for a little bit for a hot second. I mean, we're gonna be closing out the show in a minute, but before we close out the show, I wanted to touch on some things that have been going on in our own community. There's been lots of talk in social media and on the news about Sir Major. Now. Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what's happened. Sir Major is someone in our community who's been walking around, claiming himself to be an activist, claiming himself to be, in the fight for Black Lives Matter and for Black people, for equality, against police brutality, all these great things. I don't know him personally, so I'm not going to sit here and speak on the man personally, because I don't know him and I don't even know everything that he was claiming to stand for. I have seen him in the community doing things, organizing marches, being on the megaphone, whatever, here and there, but I don't know what he's actively done behind the scenes,
Right.
So I can't really speak on him in a positive light or a negative light. But what I will say is that And I guess this is my question too, because I don't know, like, and maybe you guys can tell me or inform me. Was he stealing from the government, or did he steal from a bunch of people's personal pockets?
It was donations.
So it was like, because just correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I heard somebody saying like he had started a GoFundMe.
There were GoFundMes
in the name of the Black Lives Matter.
I don't think it was all only GoFundMe. I think it was like a Facebook campaign, different avenues of that, because actually GoFundMe on their behalf, in which that's going to be, in my opinion, a separate suit, because they're refunding anyone who donated to him during that time frame. They're refunding them their donations.
Now, how much did they say he took?
They said that he got close to $500,000.
What?
Yeah,
but all of it wasn't from GoFundMe though.
Yeah, okay. From these different platforms.
From different platforms, and they're all donations.
And I guess there was proof that at least about 200,000 of it was spent on
a house, personal matters.
And so now he's been exposed. It's been put out there. The feds have been watching. They've been investigating.
And this is the thing in my eyes. Me personally, my personal beliefs about Sir Major, we're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
But when you're doing business and you're using a business entity, business banking, and this is how this ties into what I said earlier, how African American community, when it comes to finances and things, does not get away with a lot of things other corporate people and people of another color get away with. I do not feel like that's an excuse to misappropriate and misuse funds that were for a certain cause. But in that token, if you are using that, and I think what happened was they said there were messages from him, and that helped their case of him saying what the money was being used for.
Right.
So if you are putting out that this money is being used for this particular reason, then that money needs to be used for that particular reason.
You better be able to account for it.
And you have to be able to account for it. So this is just no personal opinions, but that's just how it goes. And if you wanted to use, because he has done that, I've seen that from him before, where he said, I still have to eat, blah, blah, blah. Your supporters, you put a different campaign for that. You put up a different GoFundMe for that.
And say,
this is for me.
Everything's coming out of my own pocket. I need to.
This is for people supporting.
Are you willing to donate
and
to
I'm
my
sure
cause?
they would if he has that kind of following.
Yes, because they're going to support, regardless. And I just think that should be important. It may be a lesson for people moving forward.
And a lesson
for himself, who use, who claim themselves to be activists, are in the community, and they are making this their primary source of income. Just make sure you are putting that separately. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
And I want to say, this is what I want to say about it. You can have your personal opinions, you can have your thoughts, your views, all these different things, but no way am I saying that anything he did was okay. But somebody had posted on Facebook when all this was going on and made a post, and it resonated a lot with me. And they basically said, like, when we were coming up and when we were being raised, this is kind of like one of them situations where, like, she was like, I look at him like family, like us in the black community. I look at this whole black community like family, right? And she said, so, when we were raised, when we were coming up as kids, when your cousin or your brother or somebody, did something, like, we handle that within the family. We're not gonna sit up here and
we sure did.
So it's like black people, okay, yes, he was wrong. He's been exposed. He's done some things that he's made some bad choices. Yes. But that also doesn't take away from what he did do in the community, because there's lots of ways. First of all, let's not talk about all you scammers who are out here living good off of frauding. Okay.
Right.
And so
at least he's trying to do something.
At least he was trying to do something within the community, because there are many ways you can go and scam and get money and not have to give back to the community at all.
I gotta disagree with y'all.
You don't even have to spend your time.
Disagree with y'all.
Well, hold on. Let me finish my point though.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it's just like it's kind of like my same thing in what I'm saying, like, as far as preachers are concerned. And I'm not talking about preachers who aren't, who are just, not even in it for Christ, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, people get mad about preachers, asking for money or asking for it's like at the end of the day, they still, they're still doing what they're doing in the church. They could have went and became a lawyer or a doctor or a surgeon to get money if that's all they were concerned about. You know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is just that what he did was very wrong. I don't justify it. I don't condone it. I don't think it's right. I think it's a learning lesson for us as a whole community. However, everybody was so quick to, it was like people were just waiting. You know what I'm saying?
But
people
because
he built that up for himself.
I was just gonna say that.
He built that up
of who he became.
Because
he started being.
You have to understand, this same person where we're bringing up this topic of let's come together for our black man. He was one who was personally targeted and took down his own.
Okay, well then
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't even want to touch that, because that gets really deep in regards to this situation. But it's not, we can't say, oh, let's pull together for this black man with this same black man in different situations. Didn't do some research, just acted off an impulse.
That's true.
Tore down
That's
his own people and black men
Yeah,
in his community. So
I
that's
feel
why a lot of people were waiting, because he's done targeted so many people and tore down so many people in his own community.
Yeah.
And no one said anything to him.
Right.
So these same people who have been a victim of his actions, of course they're not going to be one of those who support him. This is just about the support factor.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
But it also depends, and like Mike Finch said, it depends on the type of scamming you're doing. But when you said for our community, when you are getting from our community, but like I said, we don't know where all these funds came from.
Sure don't.
You know, we don't know if it was all community funds or not. But it would have been nice to see where he did put some of that money in the community too.
And I mean,
you know what I'm
was
saying?
that put out there? Like, are people who's putting out this information,
and we don't know?
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm
Once
saying.
again,
Everybody's
that
jumping to the
research,
thing,
don't have a clue.
saying, oh, about him, but nobody even really has any true facts. So, okay, maybe he took some of the money and spent it, what did you say, on a house or whatever, but do we know if he did take any of the money and put it into the community? Did he? Do we know if he did or not?
Does he have his own sheet where he says this amount is going to my personal,
but this is where the community can come in at. I have yet seen anyone say, well, on behalf of such and such, he did donate this amount.
Right.
Very true.
So right
so
now,
we don't. It's all up in the air. It's only what they're stating and what they're stating, and of course, with anything that usually comes out, and then and it's just a hard factor for our community, because we know, and from our own personal experiences, that the system isn't to be trusted.
Yeah.
So I just hope that if just for people who are in the community, and to me, it's also a slap in the face to those activists who've been activists for years.
Yes,
it really is,
and
it's already hard to get trust into that.
And they haven't gotten half of the support
that
he's gotten, or that amount of money. And they've been doing this. We can name so many people. It's not just him by himself. So many. You can say he's done so much, yes, but he's not the only pillar in the community that have done things for the community, marches, protests. He's just one of many, and there's many other people who haven't even gotten a quarter of that support.
Well, make sure you form your own opinion about the whole situation, and whoever you decide. And there's a lot of activists out there. There's a lot of people out there really, really going hard for us. So let's not take this out on those people that really are there for us.
And like, I want to send a lot of special love out to those people who are in the
Mr.
community
Muhammad,
doing things. Sharice and Chris McBrayer,
Gutta
Dave, Big Blood, different people who are out in the community who aren't even, because let's be clear, and I heard someone say one time, if you want to go get funding, if you're trying to start a business and you want to get funding, don't, go and start a nonprofit, because it's easier to get money that way. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. That's new to me. But there's people out here who are using nonprofit organizations because they know it's a quicker way to get a check. And I mean, so I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
So I just feel like,
so support, shout out to those people who are out in the community who are doing it out of their pocket.
We got to give them a shout out.
They're not even going and looking for funds. They're not asking for funds. They're not asking for credit. They're not asking for clout. They're literally doing it out of the kindness of their own heart.
They care.
You know what I mean? They really care.
Yes.
And that's what we have to get back to.
And that's what we should. And I think just moving forward, Jesse says, shout out to Julian Mack. Yes. There's so many people, and that's the point we're
so
making.
Many of them. If we didn't get you today, we gonna get you tomorrow.
We will, and that's something us as 419 Grind can. We have the opportunity to make sure we shout out and give acknowledgement to these people in these roles, because it's so many of them, and he's not the only one. And a lot of people, and this goes to research. A lot of people feel like, oh, he's the only person I've seen. That's just your personal opinion. That's the only person you feel you've seen. Right. But if y'all know, he wasn't even in the city for a long time. You know, he came back. You know, and that doesn't take away. That doesn't mean he can't do. But he's touched his people. He's done his job. And I just hope with this situation that people weren't taken advantage of. Yeah. In my opinion, it's not okay because of what other people do and get away with. No, if it was for a cause, that money needs to be for the cause that it was donated for.
I totally agree.
And I just hope that this does not take away from those businesses and those organizations and nonprofits who are actually in the community making a difference.
I hope it does not.
Shout out to John Clark. He said, he's on the live. He said, I hope he doesn't put a bad taste in real nonprofits in Toledo. And yes, John, again, that's why we definitely are saying, you know, we know about you activists who are out there literally putting in that
don't
and we appreciate you.
Please don't stop. We're asking you not to stop.
Please keep your foot to the pavement because you know, there's people out there really doing things and they're not looking for no credit. They're not looking to be seen, heard, none of that. Like they just literally they're so busy and so focused on what
but we might need them to be a little bit more seen and heard.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, it depends. It's preference because they're still getting that work done. And then a lot of times our people as a community, we tear down our own.
Man,
so hard.
And that's the hard part.
We are the hardest on ourselves.
Yeah, so some of them like being in a, you know, and like you said, they're not even looking for no answers. They're not looking for, but guess what? They show up to every meeting they can.
Period.
They volunteer wherever they can. And you don't have to be in the limelight to make a difference.
No, because it's those individual lives that you're impacting on an everyday basis that, you know, even 5-10 years down the line are going to come back and be like, oh, I remember.
But when
you were that one person,
when we don't see them, I'm not saying they have to be in the limelight, but when you don't see them, we get people like Sir Major.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Kind of overcloud and overshadow.
And now gives people that judgment that that's how they all are. And I'm not saying that they need to be there. I'm not saying that.
I think that's our own fault because, like I said, we've had people here doing stuff. And we have proof of that. They're on the corners. They're posting the rallies.
Yeah, I mean, I think
so. It depends on who sometimes it's messed up how it works.
It's like a popularity.
It's a popularity
thing for everything because it's about a name. Like even though Sir Major wasn't necessarily liked by everyone, he was clearly still popular by everybody because all of y'all we were all talking about him. You know what I mean?
Talking about him now.
Talking about him now.
And my thing is, it's because he also had those jabs that he took. You know, he had a different approach.
Okay.
So that's why he was, because it's like, who's this Sir Major dude that he started, he made a, you know what I'm saying? So it depends. And some people don't even want that type of light on them.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm not gonna,
don't need it, don't want it.
They don't need it, don't want it. But we all here, I want to say, can collectively, from the bottom of our hearts, thank every person
absolutely
makes a difference, who has been making a difference in our community and made it consistent. You know? We appreciate y'all. And even though y'all might not get the respect or the acknowledgement y'all have been due, we appreciate you, whether you're in the front line or behind. And you know, that's just for all of us. We gonna make it through this year.
We gonna make it through. We gonna make it through.
We got this.
You know, it's
because when we all need to pull together, we really do.
Yeah,
so it happens.
And that's what it's about, guys. And you know, that's why I love being a part of the 419 Grind and the Rise and Grind Morning Show, and just being a part of this family here, because we all, you know, we are all creative, intelligent individuals who have come together, and created this bomb-ass team, this bomb-ass family. And you know, it's about coming together and just seeing the bigger picture. You know, seeing the big vision overall. And as a Black community, we can sit here, we'd be going back and forth for days. You know what I mean? So this is definitely it's a hot topic. We're gonna have to have like a round 2, you know, because it's
hey, we say this every week though.
Yeah,
but shout out to us Black people. I seriously feel like when we do need to come together, I understand we have our little bits here and there, but I feel like we really do come together very well at one point when it's really needed. So shout out to all of us.
Shout out to all of us, and shout out to everybody that tuned in today. Shout out to everybody that was on our live. What's up, Dewan? Okay.
What happened?
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. So, we're gonna go ahead and close the show out for the day. It's been an amazing show. I've loved your ladies' energy. Energy. Like I love having you guys with me.
Yes.
You know, I just want to say again to everybody that's tuned in on the live, shout out to Kenny. He said this energy is so huge this morning. Got my blood pumping. Love y'all ladies.
Appreciate you.
I love you, Kenny. I appreciate you, Kenny, and I appreciate Mike Fees. He says y'all creating a bomb ass family. Salute to y'all and the whole team. Keep grinding. And Mike Fees also said Sir Major Page did and is doing an amazing job for our communities and outside. Keep him in prayer. What I'll say is, yes, he did a lot of things that are wrong, but let's keep him in prayer, y'all. Let's lift him up in prayer.
That's all you can do.
You know, let's not be so quick to judge. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he made some bad choices and some bad mistakes. You know, we all can learn something from this, though.
And Leah, for the people he has targeted, forgive him.
Yes.
Just for your own.
For the victims, for the victims who were affected, you know, our hearts go out to you, and you know, let's just keep him lifted up in prayer.
Because as a community, we all gonna move forward together.
Yes, and learn from this.
All of that, and that's our focus.
Yes. And so on that note, you know, again, make sure you guys go over to ToledoCityPaper.com and vote the Rising Ride Morning Show the best local podcast. And make sure you vote Big Treese and Leah Renee best anchor duo.
Period.
Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and sharing. And stay tuned for Real Table Talk with Leah Renee today at 5. I sat down with my girl Cherie. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to my girl Cherie. It's her birthday. And also happy birthday to my girl Sylvia. She had a birthday a couple days ago, so shout out to her and everybody over there at the Lowrider Cafe.
And Leah and Treese, we're gonna talk about it, but I think we're gonna have a challenge. We're gonna do a voting challenge.
Yeah,
it's separate than the one y'all already have going on.
Okay, I like that.
But I think we should challenge everyone to go and research something about the opponent for both candidates.
I like that.
And just one voting law or legislation you did not know about.
Okay, so I love
post
that.
Post it to Facebook. 419 Grind. What should we call it? 419 Grind Education Challenge.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
And okay, so this is what we'll do. DJ Breezy comes in for Work It Out Wednesdays. What we'll do is next Wednesday
we gonna read them.
We're gonna read them, and we'll have our Linda back in if you're free.
Down.
Yes.
We'll come back to the table.
Yep.
We're gonna read. All three of us are gonna find facts about both candidates, and we're gonna find facts about the felony voting laws. And we're gonna bring it to the table and. Whoever, okay, so since this is such an interactive show and we love to include our viewers and our listeners, if you're on this live and you're watching this video right now and you want to be included into this challenge, you yourself go do some research. You have to find one fact about both candidates.
Yes.
And then we want you to find facts about voting rights for felons. Something that you didn't already know, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Or any voting legislation.
Any voting legislation, but I'm specifically going to look into that felon stuff that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, so any voter registration information. Facts, though. Yeah. Facts, because this is about doing research and encouraging our people to start doing this research. So if you're out there and you're watching, and okay, so the first person who inboxes me, Leah Renee, with your information. Actually, maybe let me see how many mics do we got in here. We can seat up to I think maybe 6 people. So we have the 3 of us, and then we'll take 3 people. So the first person to inbox me, the first person to inbox you, and the first person to inbox you with factual information that you have researched.
We're gonna bring y'all on.
We're gonna bring y'all on. Yep. Y'all gonna come on. Y'all gonna sit up here in the studio with our beautiful faces and have a conversation. And we're gonna work it out Wednesday.
And
we're gonna work it out.
And when you come on, you gonna give us what you found.
Yes, you're gonna give us your information.
Yes.
You're gonna give the listeners your information, and it has to be factual. You have to fact check. You have to do your research. That's the point.
Provide
of this
the links.
So provide the links. Let's educate our people. Let's do it.
Let's hashtag this. Hashtag 419 Grind Voter Education Challenge.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hashtag the 419 Grind Voter Education Challenge.
Yes.
All right. So first 3 people to inbox me, Arlinda, and DJ
Both
Breezy
candidates, Kenny.
About your facts and about your information, we will bring you on to the show next Wednesday for Work It Out Wednesday with your girl, Miss Leah Renee, Arlinda Self, and DJ Breezy.
Let's go. Okay, y'all have a great morning.
So y'all have a great morning.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Have a wonderful, beautiful, productive day. We love you all. And until next time,